Welcome back!
Welcome back to Rose Roast. I am Sam.
And I'm Aidan.
And we are...
incredible. So for more insights, wisdom, and joy, subscribe right now.
And stay tuned, because we're about to dish...
Tuned.
Tuned.
Thank you.
We're about to dish the deets about episode 2, The Bachelor, Nick Viall. Nick Disgusting.
Yeah.
But also Nick Beautiful. So yeah, let's start with the horrendous group dates that included...
Like, the group dates that wouldn't... I always forget the sheer volume of, like, women who were there until, like, the letter gets read and they're like, so we're gonna take half of you. So that is Becca, Michelle, Ashley, Mary, Marie, Susan, Susan Marie, Mary, Kevin, Kylie, and Kendall.
Michelle L, Michelle H, Michelle T.
And grab all of your sisters and let's go.
Getting these sponsored convertibles and let's just mosey on down.
I forgot about that.
To a horrendously suggestive and like borderline like
psychotic
photo shoot with this like incredibly stereotypically gay photographer who is an actor.
Like Nick was explaining what was going on, I was just like, I'm sorry, can you step aside so we can look at the leggy gay man in the one piece behind you? Because I'm distracted.
Yes.
We can't not address the gay elephant in the room.
It was a lot to take in.
Sure was. That was a problem pattern if I've ever seen one.
I agree. And everyone was put in their own costumes.
Wedding dresses. Ugh, chilling.
That episode in Friends and they're all in the dresses. That's what it looked like.
I feel like the challenge this week, the producers were like, you know how they're not supposed to kiss anyone in front of other women? Let's try and like crank it up a notch and make them kiss as many women in front of each other as possible.
Toss that rule out the window.
Yeah.
Grab some titties and like have at it.
They're like, by the way, there's a small prize for the winner who the gay man in the back feels has the most chemistry with Nick. And it was a small prize.
It was a small... Yeah. For Karine, the winner, it was everything for her.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was a scene where this girl with, like, this slam and bod played Eve. He played Adam. They were wearing nothing but leaves. It was
great.
Great for the old peepers, not gonna lie. And then she gets in the pool and, like, needs to one-up her. If anyone thinks she has lip injections...
Karine.
Does she have lip injections?
At this point, it's almost certain.
Okay. She gets in the pool, takes off her top, wants to have, like, a Janet Jackson photo shoot.
She's like, cut my boobs. Like, hold them from behind. He's like, fine. And then she, like, afterwards, I feel like she gave it such a boost. Like, she was like, it was the greatest thing. Like, no man's ever done that. It was the greatest thing. I'm like, you weren't having sex. You literally touched your body.
How great could it have been? I think he was just, like, simply cupping. We get that she's a villain. Message received. Everyone's making out with him at this point. Got it.
Yeah.
Then we move on.
Like, nighttime portion of the date.
Right.
Where she just, like, kept interrupting other people. Like, she would go...
Yeah.
Like, she grabbed him first, obviously, and then, like, other people would have turns and she would get more wasted. She's like, she's like, can I steal him for a second? And all the other girls are like, are you fucked? Like, half of us haven't spoken to him. Mm-hmm. They have another special moment, and then she leaves. She gets more wasted, and her producer's like, why don't you call him back? He might have forgotten you. She's like, you're right, I'm going back. Interrupts Taylor.
Him and Taylor have, like, an actual connection. I think. She's, like, super smart, really pretty, seems dope.
But at the end of the day, 23.
Yeah. And Karine is, like, legs and arms wide open, so he's diving ass deep into that.
Yeah. Gets interrupted again. So Taylor's like, you know what? Two can play that game. Goes back over, she's like, listen, you little bitch. I need to interrupt now and steal Nick back.
And then
which Karine takes so personally.
She goes, listen, I interrupted, but, like, it wasn't over a single character, and then, like, Taylor re-interrupted me, and, like...
Can you believe it?
Has this whole monologue where we're just like, you are a cunt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sitting side by side, and she's like, listen, Taylor, like, there's no situation about that situation, and, like, I'm totally okay if you are also okay with the non-situation that just happened to be a situation. You got it?
And Taylor's like, I'm fine.
She's like, I want you to be fine. I want you to be more than fine.
If you aren't, let me know now. And Taylor's like, we're good. My connection with him is palpable, so we're fine here.
But it wasn't that good because then that bitch got the rose.
Which is just like, I'm sure
disgusting.
Nick was just made to do that from producers because, like,
I hope
there's
so.
just,
Or else it's a classic case of girl hot, guy hot. You know?
Agreed. Went to the one-on-one date with a very sweet lady who is smart, and they're from the same hometown. So
Go for a helicopter ride?
Go for a helicopter ride, land on a
The small
cruise.
talk couldn't have been worse. Like, I wanted to die during that small talk.
They were just like, wow.
A helicopter. Look, the highway. I think that's the Santa Monica Pier.
Nick was able to do his, like, I don't know, stand-up comedy bit. Like,
he's like, have you ever been in a relationship before? She's like, actually, it's a funny story. My last boyfriend died after overdosing on drugs that I didn't know he was addicted to, and then gave me the special pleasure of finding his body in the home we share together as I planned our wedding.
So do you want to compare that to your 2 reality TV
He's
flops?
like, tell me again how horrible it was to be rejected by Andy on television. He's like, you know what, the rose is yours.
Yeah. He often smiles. I've noticed that he smiles a lot, like good or bad news. He's just like really like ding, like putting it on. But then I have this weird feeling where I like think he's my soulmate, so I don't know. I'm very conflicted.
Says things that I know you would appreciate all the time.
That's correct.
And maybe that's how America feels.
Yeah, that's why he's our bachelor.
Correct.
And then we go on to the final group date, which includes Liz, who's already hooked up with him. That girl that looks like Cabbage Patch Doll, who Liz is only confided in. I've noticed that Liz has kind of like
questionable taste.
Yes, the back tattoo, the
small
nose
eyebrows,
ring, the bathing suit, anything she wears that's like
her general disregard for her physical appearance on camera.
That's correct.
Like, her producer's like, do you want another 20 to just like put up a ponytail? She's like,
I'm good.
Nah, I'm ready.
She like always comes on screen like just from the shower, puts on a sweater, and is like ready for the camera.
Hoodie up.
Which leads us to this date. So we are on the group date. It is a museum of broken hearts.
Which by the way, is the most fake thing I've ever heard.
That's correct.
That doesn't exist.
It absolutely doesn't exist. But it is there because they want this moment to happen between Liz and Nick. And there's this whole scene where like they're basically doing improv and yes-anding left, right, and center, which is a nightmare to watch.
Yeah, it's awful.
And so Liz takes it upon herself to like really dive
She's
deep.
like, you know what? Everyone here is like coming up with like very superficial reasons to break up with someone. I'm just gonna monologue about our truth. Pulls out her notebook and is like, so we met this summer.
She's like,
at a wedding.
It all started.
Yeah. So cringe. I actually wanted to die. I couldn't look at the screen. Sam was literally like, look at this camera.
Yeah,
like,
I made him watch.
You gotta see this.
I was like, take this in.
The only saving grace was Kristen that entire time, just like unable to cope with what was going on before her very eyes. And she's like, oh, we like spun into crazy town and we're going like 150 degrees into the truth.
That's correct. She's like, from the moment we met, I knew you were nice and the one for me. It's like,
and Kristen was like, to her producer, she was like, this is happening. This is for real. She's like grabbing everyone else's arm, like hoping for like recognition from another girl that maybe Liz has spilled the beans to, and all the other women are like, Kristen, stop touching me, like what's your deal?
Yeah, they're like, this is an act.
I'm trying to watch a show.
But Kiki's like, this is real.
And nobody knows.
So, it's obvious that Liz is here for the publicity because
for the wrong reasons, you would say?
She literally is here for the wrong reasons,
which is hard to do.
Hard to do and hard to say out loud and be honest about it because it's true. She had no excuse. She, like, Nick was like, you could have called me. Like, you could have got my number. And she was just like, I noticed today, going into tonight, that this is a possibility. Like, you know, just like spewing bullshit. Like,
I don't understand why you applied. And she's like, you know, like, it makes sense. Like, now here you are fighting for me. And
Fit
like,
tea sponsorships.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instagram publicity.
He's like, I can't help but think that you're just here for the TV show, and why don't I walk you out?
So I thought that was, like, pretty noble of him. And also, it would have made so many more problems if everyone found out and she was still there being like, you know?
Yeah. She's
So
like, I know what his dick looks like.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And she ultimately is here for the wrong reason, so, like, fuck her forever. But also, like, you're not a whore for sleeping with him. You're just a fame whore for going on the show. That's what it is.
The takeaway from the entire episode.
Exactly.
I think
Jamie, the nose bull ring lady, septum
the bisexual
piercing,
girl.
Once she told him that she had been with a girl, Nick was like, mother may I, rosy in the cheeks, like flush.
He's like, do you think someone else is here along the sexual spectrum that we could sleep with?
And he's like, are you gonna like someone that I like? And she's like,
Imagine.
So that was him being like
Disgusting.
And it was nice to see. To sum up, people are garbage and we will consume it every day.
Yeah. I think that an honorable mention for me, though,
Please.
was Shark Girl celebrating her boobs 1 year anniversary. Cupcakes and just, like, living her truth.
Like, our money is still on Shark Girl, just
She's a VIP for me.
for sure. I hope she really just succeeds.
Honestly,
from
I hope that
this.
she gets to top 4 at least, because he's like, listen, like, you and I both know that neither of us are in it for each other, maybe. But you keep me grounded, and I
That's
love
correct.
laughing with you.
Yeah,
Like, each week she has a new gimmick. She's just like, hey, have you ever played Pokemon Go?
yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like, if you guys have any opinions about our opinions...
Leave them below. Tell us to
Leave
go
them
fuck
below.
ourselves if you want.
Oh, also, I looked at our YouTube channel, and, like, we are almost at 300 subscribesies.
Wow!
So I figured if I make an announcement about it, we can bump that shit up and get more subscribesies.
Please, bring us to 300.
We're not sure what it will do once we're there, but
Bring
I
me
imagine...
pure, unadulterated joy for 3 weeks.
Then, like, endless fame and fortune. We don't know, but, like, we will find out
Endless fame.
soon.
Yeah. That once we reach that benchmark, we'll be just as famous as Liz. And we didn't even have to sleep with Nick.
That's correct.
But we still want to.
Though it's still...
It's not off the table.
It's a pipe dream.
Yeah. A pipe dream. Good pun.
Cheers. With that, we bid you adieu. Love you forever.
See you next week.